Hello students, in this video I will teach you chapter number 1 from English grammar. The name of the chapter is sentences. I will explain everything in this video and further you'll understand everything in details when you do the exercise in your notebooks. So basically in this video we will understand the theory portion of the chapter. So the first thing that we need to know is what is a sentence. A sentence is a group of words that makes complete sense. It contains a verb and a subject. So you know that if the words are in a correct order, then it is called a sentence because it makes sense. But in a sentence, basically if there are group of words which are jumbled and not in the correct order, if it does not make any sense, we will not call it a sentence. And also a sentence always has a verb and a subject. For example, Mayank lives in Chennai. Mayank is the subject and lives is the verb. So this sentence actually makes sense. Next example, they are eating ice creams. They are the subject and eating is the verb. So it makes sense. Now sentences have their own features and 3 of them are listed. I'll tell you. First feature is it begins with a capital letter. Every sentence that we write, it always begins with a capital letter. We all know that. The words in a sentence are written in proper order. So if the words in a sentence are written in a proper order, it will make sense. For example, I am playing. So it is a sentence and it makes sense because the words are in a correct order. But if, for example, the words will be placed like am playing I, it does not make sense and it is not in the correct order, so we cannot call it a sentence. And the last point is the sentence either ends up with a full stop, a question mark or an exclamation mark. So these are the punctuation marks that are used after every sentence. So now that we know what a sentence is, let's learn about what is a phrase. A group of words that makes complete sense, but not complete sense because it does not have a subject and a verb is called a phrase. So just like I told before, a sentence always contains a verb and a subject. But what is a phrase? A phrase is a sentence. It is a group of words that makes complete sense, but still somehow it does not make complete sense. And also, the phrase, it does not have a subject or a verb. For example, in the market. So in these group of words, there is no subject and there is no verb. So without having the subject and the verb, even though it does make sense, yet it does not make complete sense. So that's why we call it a phrase. Another example is with a spoon. So over here again, there is no subject and an object. It does make sense, but it still does not make sense. For example, the sentence could be that she is in the market. He is eating with a spoon. Then it would have made sense because these sentences have subject and a verb. But now, because it does not have a subject and a verb and it does not make complete sense, it is called a phrase. We cannot call any group of words a phrase. It should make some sense. For example, played, park, the, not a phrase. So we cannot call this group of words a phrase because it does not make sense and also the words are not in the correct order. So it ends up portraying no meaning. But on the other hand, if you look at the next example, a good student, even though it does not have a verb, yet it is a phrase because the words are in correct order and even though it does not make complete sense, yet it is not completely senseless. So now I hope you guys have understood the difference between a sentence and a phrase. Now that we have done two topics, which is sentence and phrase, I will quickly summarize what I taught you. What is a sentence? A sentence is a group of words that is arranged in the proper manner and also it makes complete sense. It has a verb and a subject in it. But on the other hand, when we talk about a phrase is a group of words. it does not make complete sense. Why? Because it does not have a subject and a verb in it. So now that you know the difference between a sentence and a phrase, we'll move on to the next topic. So after sentences and phrases, now we'll learn what are clauses. What is a clause? A clause is a group of words with a subject and a verb and is usually a part of a sentence. It may or may not make complete sense. Now, what is a clause? A clause is a group of words which has a subject and a verb in it, and it is a part of the sentence, but it may or it may not make complete sense. How? For example, the boy is going to the market. So the boy is a clause because it is a subject and the predicate is going. Next example, couple is sitting on the chair. Couple is a clause because it is a subject and the predicate is sitting. So for this slide, you basically just need to know the definition of clauses. What is a clause? I repeat, it is a group of words which has a subject and a verb, and it is not necessary that it makes complete sense. It may or may not, and it is usually a part of a sentence. Now we'll move on to the next topic. So in the previous slide, we read about two words, which is subject and a predicate. In this slide, I will tell you the difference between a subject and a predicate. So a sentence is made up of two parts, a subject and a predicate. A sentence has two parts, subject and predicate. Now what is a subject and what is a predicate? A subject is that part of a sentence which tells us who or what the sentence is about. What is a subject? Subject is that part of a sentence which tells us about a person or a thing that is being talked about in a sentence. Whereas a predicate is that part of a sentence which tells us something about the subject. I repeat, that part of a sentence where a person or a thing is being talked about is called a subject. And what is a predicate? Predicate is that part of a sentence which tells us something in details about the subject. Now let's go through the examples. First example, the actors performed well. So over here in this sentence, the actors is the subject. Why? Because we are talking about the actors over here. And performed well is the predicate. Why is performed well the predicate? Because it is a detailed information of the subject. And what is the subject? The actors. Next example, the baby is sleeping. So we are talking about the baby in a sentence, in this sentence. So we'll write the baby as a subject. And what is being told about the baby? That it is sleeping. So that's why is sleeping is the predicate. I hope you have understood what is a clause and the difference between subject and predicate now. Before moving on to the next slide, I will once again repeat what is a clause. Clause is a group of words that is there as a part of a sentence. It may or may not make complete sense. It includes a subject and a verb in it. And then we spoke about subject and predicate. Subject is basically the person or a thing about whom we are speaking or we are talking about in a sentence. And predicate, on the other hand, is that part of a sentence which gives us more information about the subject that is mentioned in the sentence. We have done the examples. I hope this slide, this particular topic is also clear to all of you. Now moving on to the next topic, we talk about the kinds of sentences. There are 4 kinds of sentences. First type is assertive or declarative. Second type is imperative. Third type is interrogative. And fourth type is exclamatory. Now in the next few slides, we'll talk about these sentences in details and we will understand the difference between these sentences. Now, what are assertive or declarative sentences? A sentence that declares or states something is called a declarative sentence. Now, what is the meaning of declare or state? It means to express something clearly. So, a sentence that expresses something clearly is called a declarative sentence. Assertive or declarative sentences are of two types. First one is affirmative sentence. Now, what are affirmative sentences? Affirmative sentences affirm a proposition. Basically, these sentences are positive statements. For example, the school reopens today. He felt sad for his friend. So, these statements are clearly expressed and they are positive sentences. And on the other hand, the second type of affirmative sentence is negative sentences. What are negative sentences? Negative sentences negate a proposition. It means these sentences are negative. For example, he cannot dance, he did not argue with her. So the sentences which have, cannot or not are negative sentences, and the sentences which do not have cannot or not are positive sentences. I repeat, assertive or declarative sentences are of two types. First one is affirmative. Affirmative means positive statement, and second one is negative. Negative means that those are negative statements. Now, what is the difference between positive and negative statement? In positive statement, not or cannot is not used. On the other hand, in negative sentences, cannot and not are used. Now, you have seen that in the definition that I explained, there is a word named proposition. What is the meaning of that word? A proposition is a statement or an idea which people can consider or discuss to decide whether it is true or not. So basically, it is a statement or an idea which people discuss and they together decide whether the statement, whether the idea is true or not, it is helpful or not. This is just for extra knowledge. You just have to keep in mind that the affirmative sentence is positive and negative sentences are negative because they have cannot and not in them. Moving on to the second type of sentence. The second type of sentence is imperative sentences. Now, what are these sentences? Sentences that express a command, request, advice, order, or suggestion are called imperative sentences. Now, those sentences that express a command and order are synonyms. Request, advice, and suggestion are also synonyms, but you will get to know the difference between them. So the sentences that express these following emotions are called imperative sentences. Examples of command in a sentence, in an imperative sentence: bring the box here, don't eat potato chips. So these are more like a command. It's like an order that the other person has to follow. So it comes under this example. Next one is request. Please clean your room. Next example, Mama, please bake a cake for me. So, how do you know a sentence is a request? When there is please in it. Because when you're requesting somebody, you say please. Next one is advice. Never lose hope. You must take your medicines regularly. So when you're asking somebody to do something which is for their benefit, it is for their own advantage, we call it an advice. Order. Do your homework. Eat the green vegetables. So these are in order that has to be followed. You have to do it. So it comes under this category. And last one is suggestion. What should I do during my vacation? So what does the sentence mean? I have no idea what would I do in the vacations. I'll be really bored. So you give me a suggestion. Tell me what should I do so that I am not bored and I spend my days doing something productive. Next example, what should I eat for lunch? I cannot decide what to eat. So you give me a suggestion. If I like it, I will eat that thing only. So in case of suggestion, we use the word should in the sentence. So now you know the difference between these categories of the imperative sentences. The next type of sentence is the interrogative sentences. What are interrogative sentences? A sentence that asks a question is an interrogative sentence. For example, what are you doing? How are you? So, a sentence, a statement that asks a question and has a question mark at the end of the sentence are interrogative sentences. An interrogative sentence usually begins with words like who, whom, whose, what, which, or how. For example, I work in Patna. Where do you work? I work in Patna. How was the movie? The movie was boring. So these are just two examples. All you have to remember in interrogative sentences is that it is a sentence that asks a question. It has a question mark at the end of every sentence, and words that are mentioned above are used to begin the sentences when it comes to interrogation, when it comes to an interrogative sentence. Moving on to the last kind of sentence, exclamatory sentences. The sentences that express strong feelings and emotions are called exclamatory sentences. They end with an exclamation mark. Sentences which express strong feelings and emotions are called exclamatory sentences, and exclamatory sentences have exclamation mark at the end. For example, what a beautiful dress it is. It is a strong feeling that I like your dress, and after the statement there is an exclamation mark. So it is an exclamatory sentence. Next example, how wonderful is the painting? So I feel that the painting is wonderful. It is a strong emotion, a strong feeling of likeness towards the painting. So it is an exclamatory sentence. So here the chapter comes to an end. I hope everything that has been explained was understood by you. In case there is any doubt, please feel free to clear them. You can also come to school and clear it from me in the class itself, because I feel it is going to be more beneficial. You can ask more than one doubt when we are clarifying in person. Now, after I give you the bookwork, you will understand in a better way, because there you will have more examples. So that's it. We come to an end to the explanation of the chapter. In case of doubts, please feel free to come and clear them. That's it for the chapter and the video. Thank you so much for the patience, all of you.